Om Sahana Bhavatu Janavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yasya prasadadahameva Vishnuho mayyeva sarvam parikalpidam cha itham vijanami sadatma rupam tasyang kripadmam pranatosmi nityam. Shri Guru Bhyo. So we'll just analyze a little more of that verse because of its importance and because of its being the very essence of this Vaidadhya Prakarana. This verse is in a capsule form is telling you what Vaidadhya Prakarana is telling us. So it is very important and we have to continuously meditate on this verse. All sense pleasures as well as spiritual practices are all are what? Mithya. First itself is all what you are doing is also Mithya. And now shouldn't we do some sadhana? That sadhana also is Mithya only, it is not the reality. Now you are given us the right reason for not doing sadhana. So that is why, Amma, I never come for meditation class, I never come for anything except to listen to the scripture. And then listening to the scripture is not followed by mananam and nididhyasanam. It is as good as you have not listened at all. They have to be followed by reflection. Yukti should be used in the manana. And in nididhyasana, having got doubtless knowledge, mananam leads to doubtless knowledge. And when doubtless knowledge takes place, no more that searching is there. I am sure I am Atman, the self. That is called nididhyasana, contemplation, which can be called dhyana by the yoga margis. Can be called anything, or all the time remembering I am Atman, the self, not this body, not this mind, not this intellect. All the bhavas that I have are only imaginary. The objects that I see also have no permanent reality, only relative reality. All the experiences I have are also relative. I am not the father, not the son, not the, what is that Nirvana Shatka says? All relationships are also relative. What do you think? No. We are very happily married and the children are so good. So this is real for me. You are sounding like that Indra of whom we talked yesterday. You understand? So he says here, all sense pleasures are unreal, understood, because they don't last. Not only they don't last, adavandau. Adyandavattu kaunteya tasmin naramade buddha. The Buddhas, the wise people never take these silly little pleasures, the flicker of happiness that you get, which is only the reflection of the real Ananda of Atman, as real. It is only a flicker. We don't take it as real. So the sense pleasures are not real, we know. Because the senses themselves are not real, imaginary as well as. And what about spiritual? Now I am a spiritual practitioner, I am a sadhaka. He says even spiritual practices are all dreams only. To whom? Not to you. To the one who has understood the truth. Not to everybody. Don't try to hide under these words like that. And he says all dreams only. Nirodha. Nirodha means pralaya. Utpatti, Prabhava, Prabhava, Pralaya. Nirodha and Utpatti. No one is bound, no one is free. That is too much. No one is bound, no one is free. If you are bound only, you can be free. You are not bound. So what is the meaning of saying I am free? You see, after some level, words have no validity. There is no validity for these words. Words cannot explain it. Is what words cannot explain. So, na nirodha, na utpattihi. You learn to look for meaning between the words, not in the words. You understand? Vedantic student must learn how to look for a meaning in between the words, not in the words. No one is bound. No one is a sadhaka or a mumukshu. The witness of all these is the absolute truth, the pure consciousness in me. Any birth is the result of many components. And in Advaya, there can be neither birth nor death. Paramarthada, or truth as it is. This is the Paramartha. This is the truth. That nothing is born, nothing is dying. So, then what, what of maternity ward and all, are they empty or what? They are not empty. So birth is taking place. If you are seeing birth, that is real or unreal? That also is mithya. Death also mithya. Who knows that they are all mithya? That is what he has asked. The question is asked already. Who is the one who knows all this? That this is mithya, this is not, this is real, this is... That knower only, that consciousness which is the witness consciousness, that is what we are after. Not the mithya world. All that you can get from the world is only mithya vastus. So it is not that our line of inquiry is not towards mithya objects. That is what he is saying here, Paramarthada. The Shastras cannot talk about Advaita. Now can you say that is Advaita? You decided that everything is mithya and Dvaidam. So, what is that? Advaita. Advaita is only with reference to Dvaita. So, is Advaita real? The word is not real. But what it represents is the reality. The content of that word is the reality, not the word. Every word has no meaning there. You enough, Swami. We understood. This much is enough for this year. This much is... You feel like telling, With reference to Dvaita, there is Advaita. What is it? Neither Dvaita nor Advaita. With reference to the Karya Prapancha, it is Karana. But with reference to the Karya only, it is Karana. But suppose there is no Karya, Karya is Mithya. Then Karana also is not there. You cannot give rise to a Karya Prapancha which is Mithya. Then there is no Karanam. Jagat Karanam, we said so long. Now you say Karana also is not the Karya Karana Vilakshanam Brahma. And now he says Dvaida Advaida Vivarjidam also. This is a bit too much. Advaita is a word. Get this essence of it. That non-duality is the essence of Advaita. The word Advaita. Advaita also is not. Talk about Advaita, for it is, the Shastras cannot talk about it because it is Avyavaharyam we saw. Where? in the seventh word. So you cannot vyavaharam at best, and at best they can only negate Dvaidam. Advaita can negate Dvaidam, but Advaita has not established itself. Who are you? Dvaidin or Advaidin? Don't confuse us too much, already we are confused. What are you? You are Advaidin? Even a small question like that we are not answering. What are you? Dvaidi or Advaidi? Advaidi. Huh? You are saying? No. What is the right answer? That is the best. What should be the answer? Neither Dvaida nor Advaita. That which appears as Dvaida, that which gives rise to a thought Advaita. All bhavas, including the Advaita bhava, are mithya only. So what are you? Neither Dvaita. Suppose you say, what are you? If I say I am a sannyasi, that means I don't know what I am. Why? I am Brahman or not? And what is Brahman? All-inclusive, infinite Brahman. All-inclusive. So I cannot say I am a sannyasi only. Then what am I? I am a sannyasi, I am a brahmachari, I am a grihastha, I am a vanaprastha. I am everything. You understand this? When you use a word, that word need not explain all that you want to say about that situation. That's what I am telling. The limitation of words. So when I say I am a sannyasi, I have excluded every other ashram. What ashram? I am not a brahmachari. I am not a grihastha. So I am only sannyasi. And that means I am not Brahman. Have you understood? I am not Brahman. Why? Brahman means Brihatvat Brahma. Everything is included. All-inclusive Brahman. Infinite Brahman. You are destroying the infinitude of Brahman by making divisions in it. Akhandakara vritti should be there. So when you say I am an Advaidin, then you are nothing else. You are not a Dvaidin, you are not a Vishishtadvaidin, you are not a Shuddhadvaidin, you are not that, you are not this, you are half of the humanity is gone. Are you able to follow? So why did we make a Dvaida, Advaida? For teaching, for understanding. But don't get stuck to that. Don't get stuck to that. What is that? That is neither Dvaida nor Advaida. That is that. That is all. That is the infinite Brahman. Very difficult to reach there and to analyze. Very difficult. That is not Advaita also. You know, you are standing on so many platforms like that. And the teacher is removing one by one the platforms. So long, I am an Advaidin. Like that. Now is what Advaita? Limiting yourself even to one way of thinking. See, Advaita is a viewpoint. Agreed? Of the Advaidin. It's a viewpoint of the, what do you call, a pointer to the truth. Now, Vishishtadvaita is another viewpoint. And Advaita is another viewpoint. Madhva is Dvaita, another viewpoint. Shuddha Advaita, another viewpoint. You understand this? Everything is a viewpoint to the ultimate truth. But the truth is the point. getting involved in these viewpoints, you miss the point. So what are you? It is better to say I am a seeker of truth than saying I am an Advaiti. It's Not even a mumukshu. No, okay, mumukshu, that is when you understand truly. In fact, silence will be the answer. That's why Ramana Maharshi never answers anybody. For whom is this problem? Who is having this problem, he will ask. For me, who are you? Go and find out and come back. You never come back. No, he has understood the sense of that word Advaita. It is not that you are dividing humanity into Advaitins, Dvaitins, that, Vishishta Advaitins, that, everybody. It is not that. They are all for convenience of understanding in the initial stages of your Vedantic study. Then you say, what Advaita? Advaita also is. Now even Gaudapada has to say Advaita is the only Paramartha. Great teacher that he was and master. But he has to say. This you must remember always. The word is not what it points out to. Even the word Advaita is only a Tadastha Lakshana, actually speaking, if you ask me. So you have left us completely, what can I say? You have put on so many clothes.
Even the Surupa Lakshana we consider is only
Tadastha Lakshana only, that's what I am saying. Because the Surupa Lakshana is very, very difficult to define with words. Yato vacho nivartante, and mind cannot understand it. So, just understand. When the teacher says, A is a point without any measurements, you have to only imagine that, or whatever it is, you have to understand it that way. But you can never make a point without dimensions on the board. Similarly, no word can give you an approximation of truth. Cannot. So it is neither Dvaita nor Advaita. At one point of time, even Advaita becomes meaningless to the student. So he says here, Advaita, there can be neither birth nor death. Paramarthada is truth as it is. The Shastra cannot talk about Advaita, for it, then it becomes Vyavaharyam. It is Avyavaharyam. That cannot be talked about. And at last, at best, they can only negate Dvaita. They cannot talk about Advaitam. Like that the Purva Pakshi argues, when Dvaitam is eliminated, what remains is not truth but void. Who says? Shunyavadi. Shunyavadi says, if Dvaita Prapancha is removed, what remains? Only zero, big Kumbhalanga. What Kumbhalam? That's what he says. Nothing is remaining. Remains is, why do you bring in the existence of Advaitam which has no pramana? That's the Purvapakshi asks. Why you bring such words, first of all? Without words we cannot, student cannot understand. That is why. The Siddhanti argues, we have to bring in something, some adhishtanam, something which resembles an adhishtanam. All the words we are using are only adhishtanams. Without a substratum, the rope should be there for all superimpositions, and the rope also should be an imagination. But rope is not an imagination. Rope is there. But rope you seeing as the snake is a imagination. Or seeing as a Jaladhara, it's a superimposition. And seeing it as a garland is superimposition. Is it not? But rope itself is not superimposition. In the rope you are seeing. So you cannot say what is pointed out by Advaita is an imagination. Whatever is superimposed on it is all imagination. What is pointed out by the word Advaita is not imagination. It is the truth. But the truth has no word to talk about. Avyavaharyam, avyabadeshyam. What all words are used there? Prapancha upashamam. That is why the 7th verse is so very important. In a negative way, it explains. Nanda prajnam, na bahish prajnam, na ubeda prajnam. So, he is not the waker. Let us put it this way. He is not the waker, he is not the dreamer, he is not the deep sleeper. He is not even the in between. That waking sleep also he is not. Waking sleeper also he is not. That only Vedantic student can do that. Nobody else. In the many years I have taught Vedanta, I found out one thing. They understood Vedanta or not, I don't know. But they have learned the art of sleeping with eyes open. That they become clever. But we can understand. If I look in that eyes, blank eyes, we understand. Okay, and he is not the waker. And he is not the sleeper also. Prajnana ghanam, na. Na prajnana ghanam. Oh, understood. The student says, he must be prajnaha, na prajnaha. Before the student has thought he must be prajna. No. Prajnaha there means, there in that context it means the knower. He is not a waker, he is not a dreamer, he is not a deep sleeper. He is not a knower. You must understand prajna there as knower. He is knowledge. It is not a knower, it is knowledge. Na prajnam. Do you think it is insentient something? No. Because the Shruti says it is all knowing. Sarvajnaha. So it cannot be aprajna. If I ask you, do you know yourself? Hey, what a question you are asking. Somebody asked me, do you know that Swamini Niranjanananda? What do I say? I cannot say I know her. Because I am not an object for myself. How can I know myself like that? Like an object. Like I know this mic. I cannot know. Can I say I don't know her? Why I can't say? You make yourself available for logic. Otherwise, how can I teach you logic? I am she. How can I not know her? How can I say I know her? Then there it means I know her as an object. I don't know her as an object. Is it not? I am the very subject. I know her as myself. That is how I know. So also here, do you know that Atman? What can you say? Can you say I don't know? Can you say you are that? Ahamasmi sadabhami kadajin ahamapriyaha. I am that. So I cannot say I don't know. Can I say I know it? So in the Upanishad, the teacher says, if you say you know it, you don't know. If you say If you say you don't know, then you know. At that level, when we studied Upanishad, it was not clear, but now it is clear. Either can you describe Atman as something that can be known by the Indriya, mind or anything, nor can you say, I cannot know it, it is beyond my understanding. That is also not true, because what do you know more intimately than yourself? Tell me. So do you know it? Of course I know. Like that, this type of mental gymnastics you must start practicing, okay? Otherwise you will never. Don't go on reading what others have written. What is the use? By battling within themselves, they have come to certain words, and what Gaudabada meant by those words, we are not understanding that. We cannot understand unless we do the mananam in the same way and come to own up your insides. Then only you'll understand. Okay, the rope should be there for all superimpositions. The PP argues the rope also could be an imagination. No, when all the superimpositions are negated, where was the superimposition? They are all gone. Is it not? The sarpa is gone, the jaladhara is gone, the bhuchitram is gone, everything is gone. But the rope is always there. When you were superimposing something on it, it was there. When all superimpositions were removed, it is still there. Rope is the only reality. I mean, it is a example. Drishtandam is very, very limited. The limitation of the example. The rope, nothing has happened to the rope. Similarly, you have superimposed so many things on that truth. What we call the reality. Yes, Arade. Please put it off. Put off your phone. Okay. So, you have superimposed so many things. He is a waker, he is a dreamer, he is a deep sleeper, he is a knower, he is that, he is the... everything. But you removed all that by study of the scriptures and going to satsangs. You have removed all that. Not any of those. What remains is Parisheshika Naya. That we realize, that which cannot be named is the truth. So, superimpositions are all negated. Where was the so? Hence, if the drishtanda is not sufficient, it is because of the limitation of the drishtanda. Moon face, when we say that lady has a moon face, it does not mean there is a face, but a face which resembles the moon. There is always a limitation in the example. The limitation of the words is there. What we are trying to compare is the Atman, which is Anubhamidam, which cannot be compared to anything in this world or in any world. And naturally, there are no upamas equivalent to carry the weight of Atman. When you say moon face, we supply everything, the nose, the beautiful eyes, the lips, etc., etc. That is all not there in the moon. Moon has no nose, no eyes, no nothing. Only one part of the thing is taken for comparison, that is the roundness of the moon. Other thing is not taken. So also here, and what we are trying to compare, the Atman is to be compared with all anatma vastus, all mithya products. There is nothing with which you can compare Atman. The moon has, when we see the snake and negate it, later what remains is the Eastness. One who projects number of things still has to exist for projection. Vikalpayadaha satpratyayaha kimnu vihaya santam. In what? Saddarshan. That man who negates everything and who projects number of things is there, should be the adhishtanam. For the projection also it is the adhishtanam. For the negation also it is the adhishtanam. Is it not? Who has projected all these things on the various objects is me, the Atman. And who is the one who is negating it all? Atman alone. So Atman alone remains as the existing reality, existence of everything, existence of various bhavas, existence of the negations, everything is in the Atman, is what this verse has told us. If the negation of duality leads to Advaita, how is it done? All our thoughts, feelings and perceptions are all superimpositions. The only thing which is there always, avyabhichara, is the thought, I am. Thought does not vibhicharati, it does not change. I am, everybody is convinced about that. I don't know whether you do. I hope you are. Anybody? Is there avyabhicharam in that? I know about one thing, that I am. All other things I don't know what you are talking. But I am, I know. The one thought which continuously persists, the Eastness of you, you never doubt. The Eastness of everything else you doubt. But I do not doubt. That constant existence is called Atman. The word also you have provided. Atman did not say I am Atman. Just have a look. It did not say. A lot of you just throw off the intellect and just awaken to that idea. That which cannot be explained. When they say this is why it is said, it cannot be. Why I read this is only to tell you how difficult it is to explain. So Ramana Maharshi says, don't try to explain, just be. Be means be. Just be. Don't try to explain, you will feel. So to the one who wants to establish Advaita by means of words, by means of arguments, by means of vadas, they will not understand. The one who goes within, deeper into oneself and be that without any type of we say in Tamil, all types of alankaram is not there. You see yourself as the naked Atma. To him alone this knowledge is vouchsafed.
I am, full stop. I am, full stop.
Full stop. Don't add one more word. I am happy. If you say, what have you become? You have become a jiva. You understand? I am very learned. Finished. That fellow is the least learned. Okay. I am. The amness is not questioned. Satsurupa Atma. Don't go on saying, I am this, I am that, I am that. Write down all about yourself. I am a very tall person, I am a very wonderful person, I am a loving person, I am that, I am this, I am this. I am will be common to all these sentences, but all the other things are Vyapicharati. Understand? All the other things are different. So that is the truth. If the negation of duality leads to Advaita, the only thing which is there always is the thought I am. The Shastras don't have to say you are. Everyone knows it. Kritanukaritve apramanam shastram. Shastram is also apramanam in that knowledge. Shastra doesn't have to teach you you are. Do you doubt? I am. Nobody doubts. I'm sure about it. Apramanam. Shastra cannot be a means of knowledge when we don't follow the teachings. Man gets caught in the net of Vishaya Sukha, but the best thing to do is to remain in one's own Surupa. And what is one's own Surupa? Sukha Surupa Atma. Vishaya Sukhas are only coming and going Sukhas, and they take you away from your real nature, which is continuous bliss. Is your real nature. And every Vishaya Sukha takes you away from it. And Vishayas bring about a flicker of joy. Without that you won't go for Vishayas. Why? The all-knowing God also knows that you will never be, there will be no world only. People will not be interested in anything. They will go away from the world and its vyavhar. So little dots of honey is put there for you to come back to it again and again. Otherwise, you will not. But the best thing to do is to remain in one's own Surupa. Sukham and Asukham are all avidya bhumi. What we ask is Sukham and elimination of Asukham, which is not possible as only the Surupa remains. Where it is hot, how can there be cold? Where there is Sukha, how can there be Dukha? So it cannot be. Similarly, where there is Sukham, we cannot superimpose Asukham. So that both we cannot be together. With the latter, we can negate the former. Only Nirvishesha Brahma remains. It is the identification which should snap. The identification with this Vishayas of the world, that should stop. And then you are in your own Sukha Swarupa, in your own Swarupa. And very many Mahatmas were never able to explain that state. The Upanishads are only like the school notes of a college student. Because the Mahatmas could never write down what they have known. Sometimes they are not learned enough to put it in words. Some they have experience, but they are not learned to write it down. They are not Shrotriyas, they are only Brahmanishtas. But there are sometimes Shrotriyas, but they are not become Brahmanishtas. Then they will write only, from them only we get all types of ideas. Because they bent and do all types of things with the experience. Either way, we don't know about their experiences in toto. So what have we to do? To know the truth as it is. Yadharthyam. What should you do? You should also reach that state. Whatever you learn from even the Upanishad books is only paroksha jnana. It will never be aparoksha anubhuti. It will become aparoksha anubhuti when you start seeking what is said in the text. That culmination, when you seek and find, you also become a Mahatma. Maybe you can write it down better because you have learned in Chinmaya mission. The knowledge is there to write down. Okay?
The distance between the text and the Vishaya should be bridged.
What does text and the Vishaya?
The text talks about something. That something to reach, there's a distance. Textbook as well as the Vishaya. The gulf has to be bridged.
That will be bridged only when you are become a seeker. Not a mere, not only reader, Shravanam. There are some who spend lifetimes in Shravanam. Have you heard that teacher? Yes. This teacher? Yes. Everywhere I have gone. Arey, instead of going everywhere, why don't you start doing something yourself? No. That much I don't know. You understand the difference? Shravana should become manana, no doubt about it. And when you do manana only, you attain to higher and higher levels of understanding, and finally what you attain, you yourself can't explain. It is like the blabbering of a child. What some of the rishis have written, we don't know, understand. And we want a Shankara to fill up the blanks. If Shankara had not filled up the blanks in the Bhashya, even today the Upanishads would be an unknown knowledge to all the majority of the people. What a great thing Bhagavan Shankara had done, you can understand from this. Today we are able to study this here because he has written about it. He has filled up the blanks which are not understandable to us, to the common man. So such is the method of inquiry. Because if I simply say, you must go on meditating on this. What meditating? How to meditate? Nobody taught us. In this way, you have to start internalizing the knowledge that is gained from the books and the teacher. And you yourself start questioning within yourself. Then answers will come to you. It may appear to be very, very difficult now, but when it starts coming from the absolute source, it becomes meaningful to you. That is the real knowledge. That is that the external teacher has taken you into the field of Vedanta, but it is the inner Guru who directs you to the ultimate end. That is why sadhanas are important. So though he says, in the end, we can say, na sadhaka, na buddha. Everything we can say. Before that, if you give up, you will be reading what is the latest teacher has said. Arey, what can they say? Tell me. What any teacher can tell you? That you are Brahman, is it not? Is it something more they can say? If they say something more, that will not survive at all. That knowledge will not survive. It's only in that one man's lifetime it will be there. After that it won't be there. This is a deviation from the class, but let it be. Tired of going by the same. So I wanted to tell you how difficult it is to even think, and think rightly and correctly and understand that I am that truth over which you have put so many superimpositions, and all study is to remove these superimpositions, and when all the clouds are gone, the sun shines in all its brilliance. Similarly, when all the vikalpas are gone, when all the new theories are all discarded by the seeker, what remains is you. You means Atman, you alone. So, One has to seek and find out this core in yourself and attain to that higher state of consciousness. We will see in the next class. Sometimes in a mood of inwardness, we will go on out of the way of the merely reading the book and trying to understand from the book. It is somebody's knowledge. That is why it is difficult to understand. When it is your own knowledge, yes, I know, I have experienced it, you see. But if it is somebody's knowledge, how, why, what? So many questions you will ask. So now you know. When I realize the truth, there. After that, there is no more the vikalpa, the misconception that I am a bound individual. There is no misconception that I have to do sadhana to reach the truth. I am not bound. I don't have to attain any mukti. I am ever mukta. At all times I am free. In my days of ignorance also I am muktaha. So then why should I do all these sadhanas? We are doing it to remove the misconceptions, not to create the truth. We must know always. We are doing all sadhanas only for chittasya shuddhaye natu vastu upalabdhaye. Vastu upalabdhi has already taken place. It has already taken place. So there is no vastu upalabdhi. Only thing is I am not able to see. There is so much covering the truth. What is it? Ajnanam. In the 4th chapter, which chapter it is? By Ajnanam, the Jnanam is covered in all of us. Jnane, Ajnanena, Avrutam Jnanam, Jagena Muhyandi Jantavaha. All these pranis like us are carried away by that Ajnanam. And whatever sadhana you are doing is not to know the truth. Gaudapada is talking from the point of truth. The science says, from my standpoint, there is no need for any sadhana because I have already removed my misconceptions and awakened to the truth. Nitya muktahaya. The goal is pointed out. For you and I, sadhana is required. Now don't say, no, Swamini said no need for sadhana. That is why. Next class you go and in that class, in our Mandukya class, Swamini said no need for sadhana. Now why are you giving us so many sadhanas? Let us sleep well, get up well, eat well. Sasyameva jayade, sasyameva bhajyate. Such people, like a blade of grass, they are born, the blade of grass they will destroy it. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate